What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Dang, man. Flip can't catch a break. He can't catch a break. Every time Flip steps away from the JBP, they do something in spite of Flip. Earlier in the video I released, Mark was taking a shot at Flip by saying he shouldn't do less than 5. I know it doesn't seem like a shot. He was just relaying the information that Flip told him, but absolutely know that was a shot towards Flip. Then, well, not even then, because I saw this yesterday and I knew I was going to make a video on it. Out of all the people, WWE highlights, they decided to give Joe Budden a shout out. Out of literally all the celebrities that were there, and I just got privy to Twitter, and I'm just now following different accounts or whatnot or pages, and I'm just scrolling down the timeline, and I see WWE post a solo shot of Joe Budden, and that was the message. And then, of course, in the caption it says the owner and the host of the Joe Budden podcast. Why the hell is Joe getting the push from the WWE? New York Times has way more presence than we give credit to. I remember initially when Joe was talking about it and I spoke on it, I gave it the proper credit that it needed to receive. And now we're seeing the, I don't want to say repercussions, but lack of a better word, we're seeing the fallout from what was published in that magazine. Everyone across the industry noticed that magazine, so now they're trying to get their stake in it. WWE would have never, ever showed Joe as the celebrity to spotlight at one of their events. Never. Joe was just talking about how when he goes to the Knicks games and they're doing the celebrity role and the call out, he never gets mentioned. And we're not going to sit here and I understand Madison Square Garden as its own standalone entity and the James Dolan organization and what they got going over there. I understand that's big business, but we're not going to act like the NBA is just shitting on the WWE here in the States, at least. So, in just a matter of weeks, he went from no celebrity call-outs to the point where he can make a segment about it to now receiving top dollar billing at a WWE event. And the reason I'm putting so much onus on this is because we all know Flip was trying to get a partnership with WWE. He was doing skits with some of the lower tier wrestlers. And then he got, what was that big cat's name? Started with an O. I don't know. I'm not a wrestler fan. I just follow the business in the industry. We all know Flip was trying to get a partnership. And I remember very, very vividly because it was the first signs that I saw Joe was hating on Flip, and this is why Flip made the switch. Joe said, why are you trying to partner up with them? What are you doing with them? And then started shitting on Flip like he's not big enough to be sponsored by them. I remember this. And then all of a sudden, Flip's relationship with the WWE went south, and we didn't really see any movement or traction with that anymore. So I find it odd that a year later, Joe is getting highlighted by the WWE. Make this make sense. But now, more questions arise in my head. I already knew it was pay for play. But what's the difference between this and the payola that the DJs are accused of receiving when it comes to radio and airplay? What's the difference? I'm paying these publications to promote me. I'm paying New York Times to have this article. And this is just me speculating, Joe. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm paying WWE to promote me. Wherever I go, I'm going to start getting promoted as top billing. And if you can build up enough cachet in the media space and the people that cover you, then everything else exponentially grows because the coverage is there. And Joe was smart because he did it to a smaller scale with channels like The Stop, channels like mine, a couple of other channels out there that just solely cover him. He gave us shine to the point where we want to continue covering him to where it's a mutually beneficial relationship. You benefit off of us because we're constantly keeping your name in circulation, and we benefit off of you because you're giving us content for us to continue our channel and the growth of it. But now Joe's playing different games. He's doing what he did to us to all the heavy hitters. Because at the end of the day, this is what this is always about. When I was young and I was first getting into Forbes, because initially, whenever you used to get the paper on Sundays, I don't want to say US Today, but I believe that was the title of the paper. Every Sunday, or like once a month, or really like twice a year, they would show how much everybody's making. And I remember this. I used to get excited looking up just different occupations and how much you can get paid for it. And then I don't know when it shifted from that to the Forbes list, but then Forbes list came out and started speaking on how much finances people have and who's at the top of the list, and this list became a big deal. What I didn't know this entire time was people can choose to have their information on this list or not. And if you want top billing on this list, if you're trying to get some type of notoriety or marketing per se, you could pay to appear on the Forbes list. It's that simple. So what makes you believe that you couldn't pay a New York Times or WWE or whoever else wants to start branding and quote unquote marketing for Joe Budden? Because let's be clear. Big businesses don't market other big businesses without money in play. And you can't tell me that the WWE is trying to get a urban demographic. You can't tell me that. So we got to be paying attention to that. We got to be paying attention to what happened with the relationship that WWE had with Flip. And now we got to start paying attention to the dynamic between Flip and Joe, because it's only a matter of time before Flip realizes how many ideas and things Joe has stolen from him and actually just started putting it in his own content. But y'all know I already spoke on this. It's the same thing that happened to Snapchat with Facebook. Yeah, you came out with stories. Thank you. We appreciate it. But you don't have the audience, you don't have the interface, you don't have the money to do it on a level that we can. And if you want to go against us, the legal route, we'll murder you with litigations. We'll pay our lawyers. I'm keep seeing these clips with Aiden Ross suing the Breakfast Club or whoever the fuck he's suing. He's like, I make $100,000 on a stream. I was like, God damn. He said, I would give all of that to my lawyer just to keep this shit going. Holy cow. So they're going to play that route with you. It's just, it gets real nasty, man. This whole dynamic is getting real nasty. Flip's going to start paying attention, and he's going to start looking at Joe in a certain light. When he comes back from this camping escapade that he's doing on his Patreon currently, don't Flip being hype. And a lot of people are going to notice that Joe was on WWE, and Flip's going to make a big stink out of it because of his failed partnership. But Flip's going to be looking at this at a completely different angle, and I can't blame him. Because I'd be giving him the side eye too. You're implementing too many things that I've tried on your shit. You just happen to be successful at it. But he's poking at pride and Flip. You absolutely, if you feel a certain way, you absolutely should. What you can do about it, I don't know. This is above my pay grade. I don't know how you're supposed to stop somebody from stealing all your ideas when they're the one that laces your pockets up. Or at least it's your highest paying gig. I don't know. This is why I refuse to just give my likeness away to people. This is why I refuse to just sign, even if I ever get to the stage where I could. There's going to be a lot of negotiations at play, because I'm always going to acknowledge the notoriety that I would receive if I signed from somebody else. But the money can wait. I can get that on my own eventually. What are you offering me outside of visibility? If you exclude the money, what are you offering me outside of visibility? Because now Flip's going to realize, damn, I really am an entrepreneur. And as much game as Joe has taught me, he stole the same amount. I would be looking at it like this. But hey, this is all speculation on my end. Just wanted to get my thoughts out on it. It was too big in the JBP as far as shady news for me not to cover it. So as always, like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking. We going to keep turning up. Hey, Mark, I heard that Eskimo Brothers comment. You know I gotta say something about that, man. Y'all tune on in the Patreon if you want to hear the thoughts on that. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.